Welcome to Weixin News, broadcasting at 11:30 p.m. Monday, November 13th. This is Fiona serving the news for you. Yi Jing, also so known as the Book of Changes, is an ancient Chinese classic covering cosmology, geography, feng shui, medicine, philosophy, divination, and many other subject matters. For over 35 years, Weixin Shengjiao has been keeping Yi Jing feng shui alive by not only passing down on the words, but practicing feng shui in real-life situations, such as by doing social services. We have accumulated more than 100,000 successful cases. Learning Yi Jing feng shui guarantees us safety in life and furthermore achieving the true peace and serenity. To know more about how to apply Yi Jing feng shui, let's move on to today's Weixin Shengjiao feature story.
Hello everyone, Aμή陀佛. Welcome to Weixin Shengjiao feature story. Over the past 35 years, Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi has witnessed the connection between feng shui dharma and people's daily life. Feng shui requires people to clean up inside and exterior of house, because it dominates the auspiciousness and inauspiciousness for people. There was one believer run his business with all heart, but he often suffered tribulations by no reason. So he sought help from Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi by inviting him to inspect the feng shui of his whole family. After Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi entered his house, the first side was discarded waste full of everywhere in the front yard. So he asked the believer, "Why don't you clean up your messy front yard?" The believer replied, "These items were too much to clean up. I had no ideas where should I start. Every time I think of this, I start to have headache." Then Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi told him, "The feng shui of the front area of the house influences our breathing directly, and what we can see in our eyes influences our organs. If the environment stayed very messy, people who lived here would be influenced by having anxious emotion without any patience." The believer listened to what Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi said and immediately gave him a thumb up and said, "Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi, you are totally correct. My wife acted the way you mentioned." Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi smiled to him and said, "You should not blame others on this. You are one of them." The believer kept silent for a while and then admitted that he and his wife had fights all the time. Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi encouraged him to hire helpers to clean it up if he had no idea how to make it clean. Then the environment would turn to be clean, and this would improve the relationship between wife and husband. If this harmony happens in a family, it will affect your performance in your career. How can you expect it to be successful? Share you another story from businessman lived in Wu. He came to visit Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi due to his distress and ill families. Through Yi Jing divination, Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi was aware that the white tiger side of the yard does not stay quiet with loud noise. Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi asked him what made the area become so unstable. He replied, "I recycled arcade games from people who threw the machines away due to the government banned gambling game. Then I repaired and restored those machines to be used." After his statement, Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi said, "What you said is the key problem exactly. The white tiger side of yard should keep quiet and still. Otherwise, you would be suffered fatal disaster." Then Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi instructed him to remove all those arcade games machines immediately without any hesitation. Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi reminded him the cost brought from good things recycling was too serious to do. It was not worth it at all to trade off between recycling and families' healthy. 1 month passed. This businessman made a call to thank Grandmaster Huiyuan Chanshi with his family's remarkable recovery after improving wrong feng shui. Besides that, he thought feng shui was blind faith in the past, which is so wrong. He believed feng shui is a wondrous dharma after experiencing this. We can understand that people who do not understand feng shui would think feng shui is blind faith, but if you understand it, feng shui is significant motive power driving our life closely every day. Thank you for watching today's feature story. See you next week.
For this week's Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi's footprint, following Wang Chan Laozu and Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi's instruction, on November 3rd, presenting the petition of Weixin Lord to heaven ritual was held at headquarters Xianfo Temple. Take a look.
Weixin Lord held a tea ceremony to make offerings to 10 directions of Dharma realm spirits and perform a heaven offering rite at headquarters Xianfo Temple. Serving tea with virtuous fellows at heavenly altar, Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi instructed them the charm principle of Weixin Lord. He emphasized that tea application wasn't confined to the act of brewing tea and encouraged branch temples to hold tea ceremonies for heavenly offering rites in worship of Buddha and Bodhisattva.
佛法就是艺术，佛法、佛道、圣道都是艺术，做道才是更深的。那么再加上茶道，我们这泡茶不是一般的泡泡挂雕碟泡泡不是这样。我们的茶道里面有禅的意境，所以这个茶道呢，我也欢迎，希望我们维新贤士各地各班已经有成就了好多的班道场呢，都已经相当的稳了。那我们今天所有的同修都派代表来，在这里天坛来供佛，来在天，祝福各位，谢谢各位，阿弥陀佛。阿弥陀佛。
Weixin Lord, led by our virtuous fellow Huang Xingting, takes the tea saint Lu Yu and Wang Chan Laozhu as masters, and has successfully extended to branch temples in Taichung, Zhouli, Taidong, Yilan, Tucheng, and Kaohsiung, in hope of making offerings to 10 directions of Dharma realm spirits and in worship of Buddha, Bodhisattva, and saints. Weixin Lord class is dedicated to promoting tea law among branch temples and regularly hosting tea ceremonies at Xianfo Temple and Dafan Branch Temple. Welcome virtuous fellows to brew tea and experience the profound conception of tea lore. Weixin News, Headquarters, Xianfo Temple.
Take a break. We will come back soon. For this week's overseas education news, following last week's footage of Malaysia Yi Jing Feng Shui fundamental class, now let's continue to watch the latest news of the first course lectured by Master Yuan Feng on November 4th.
Weixin Shengjiao Yi Jing University aggressively promoted knowledge of Yi Jing Feng Shui and giving official fundamental class overseas, including Spain, Hong Kong, Melbourne in Australia, New York, Los Angeles, and Toronto in North America. Our master's lectures and Weixin Virtuous Fellows in Overseas Branch Temple together promoted Chinese culture orthodoxy Yi Jing Feng Shui, made vows to harmonize the society and pray for world peace. The first fundamental class of Yi Jing Feng Shui studies lectured by Master Yuan Feng started in Muar District, Johor, Malaysia on November 4th. Master Yuan Feng appreciated everyone's great support and efforts to complete this opening ceremony successfully.
承蒙老祖师尊的威德力，我们师父的加持及开导，这次开课非常圆满。我们开课的也真的很顺利，真的老祖的慈悲，师父的慈悲啦，能够让这一次能够非常顺利。
Under the Master Yuan Feng's explanations, the students acquire a clear picture of Yi Jing University education system, the cause and the origins, history, short, medium, and long-term perspective of Yi Jing Feng Shui studies. Besides that, Master Yuan Feng also introduced Chanji Mountain Xianfo Temple. By piously following Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi's instructions, Master Yuan Feng arranged the Malaysia trip, visited Sanbaogong Temple and worshipped Zhenghe to respect ancient wisdom and honor the memory of Zhenghe sailing to the West Ocean. The practitioner of Yi, Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi, instructed, "Yi Jing Feng Shui are universal for all religions. We hope everyone could transcend the barriers of religious beliefs and join with Weixin world of wisdom, care, love, and protect our earth by utilizing the Feng Shui wisdom in our daily lives." Weixin News, Malaysia.
Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is the most well-known deity of Chinese folk belief. The literal meaning of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva stands for observing the voice in the world. The wondrous Dharma Lotus Sutra of the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Universal Gate Sutra depicted the immense power of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. If all the countless hundreds of thousands of millions living beings tormented by misery and pain hear of Avalokiteshvara and recite his name wholeheartedly, Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva will immediately respond to their prayers and rescue them. September 19th of lunar calendar is the birthday for Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Every branch temple of Weixin Shengjiao held rituals for expressing our gratitude and pray for prosperity of our country, safety for her people, elimination of worldwide disasters, and a world without hunger and wars.
Each branch temple of Weixin Shengjiao held a ritual on November 6th, preparing flowers, fruit, peach-shaped bomb, birthday noodles, and gold silver paper monies to celebrate the birthday of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, thanking for Avalokiteshvara blessings to Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi, and led Wangchang Laozu to descend the mundane world and to be heaven and man joining as one to help people. Then we have Weixin Shengjiao and all the religious fellows to make the world peace. Because this special fate, each branch temple of Weixin Shengjiao held a ritual for the birthday of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva and appreciated for the mercy and blessing for the world peace. The Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva is the most famous god in Chinese religion. It is almost everyone believes in the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Because of the mercy, everyone could be released. Therefore, it will be respected by people and even make an offering for it. There are 3 days for the birthday of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva that people make an offering. One is the birthday on lunar 19th of February, the other is Enlightened Day, another is for Monk Day. November 7th is on lunar 19th of September, which is its Monk Day. Each branch temple of Weixin Shengjiao held the ritual and celebrated to appreciate the mercy from the Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva. Weixin News.
Take a break. We will come back soon. Now, let's move on to Holy Sanbao Branch Temple for participating in a live releasing ritual on November 2nd. Take a look.
There are many explanations of the meaning behind the life releasing. The practice of releasing life can cultivate our compassion, save the beings from catching and killings. The practice of releasing life is the way of Buddhism. It would be the Namanikaya of Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, shows sentient beings how to get away from sufferings. Life releasing is to make good karma with the beings. All the beings have Buddha nature in their minds, no matter what life forms they are in this lifetime. We ought to take pity on them who having now fallen into the animal realm, where they must endure great hardship due to cause-effect relation. However, they still have chance to attain Buddhahood when they dissolve grievances and release karmic bonds. Therefore, one animal life we save is synonymous with saving one Buddha in the future. On November 2nd, in the early morning, Weixin Shengjiao Sanbao Branch Temple proceeded the life-releasing ritual in front of Kasigaba Bodhisattva Temple. The birds were guided to take refuge to the 3 treasures with religious rite. We sincerely hope that those birds can dissolve grievances and attain liberation when their time comes. Each month, Sanbao Branch Temple will spontaneously purchase the caged live beings for live releasing and follow the rites like Wangcan Laozu and Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi had instructed. In the sound of chanting, the beings were set free. They were invited to learn the Buddha Dharma, take refuge to the three treasures, and free from falling into the hills, into the realm of hungry ghosts, and into the animal realm when their times come. We hope to sow the seed of Buddhahood in their consciousness, so in their next lifetime, they can reborn as human beings, practice Buddha Dharma, then attain Buddhahood. Master Yuan Heng of Weixin Shengjiao Chanting College lead chanters to officiate the live releasing ritual. They chanted sutras and blessing for those birds, open the cages, let them fly, and be with others of their own kind in a natural environment. The practice of live releasing is simple and easy. Anyone who would love to dedicate all their will and efforts can join this great activity. Weixin News Sanbao Branch Temple.
For this week's education news, Master Yuan Tong of Hualien Branch Temple led virtuous fellows for outdoor teaching.
Master Yuan Tong and his wife Yuan Ya led virtuous fellows of 11th fundamental class having 2 days outdoor teaching on 4th and 5th to Taichung along Coastal Road, Provincial Highway 11. Master Yuan Tong interpreted the shape of the mountain and pointed out from what they seen along the road. Proving what they have learned from the textbook by seeing the real mountain and water made virtuous fellows understand feng shui more deeply. This time, they have visited some treasured feng shui knots. They are resident house of virtuous fellow Li Songling, named with Golden Lion placed above. East Coast National Scenic Administrative Center named with Buddhist monk meditates. Sanxiantai named Knot of Bull. Dragon Palace of East China Sea in Xiaoyeliu, Taidong Branch Temple named Qi from Night Dragons, and so on. Following with Tianqiao Knot and Shuixing Forum in Taimali, Knot of Lion and Elephant keep the river outlet in Dawu Mountain. Virtuous fellows were extremely excited to bring what they have learned from the class to practice those knowledges in the real mountain and water. They appreciated Wangcan Laozu and Grandmaster Hunyuan Chanshi delivered the profound mystery of feng shui and the puzzle of mountain, water, and land. They also appreciated that Master Yuan Tong and his wife Yuan Ya involved their time and efforts on interpreting all those treasure knots. Besides that, virtuous fellows felt so grateful for meals treated by Mr. Li and Mr. Tian from Taidong Branch Temple. The field trip made virtuous fellows understand that traveling brings about far greater benefit than mere book learning, and it ended up with gratefulness. Weixin News, Taidong.
The new religion of the world, Taiwan Weixin Shengjiao, is characterized with the modernity, practicability, and tolerability of the Yijing feng shui culture. Weixin English News is dedicated to provide our audience with diverse and abundant contents of Weixin world. Thank you for watching our program today. Stay tuned on every Monday at 11:30 p.m., every Tuesday at 11:30 a.m., and 4 o'clock p.m. Wangcan Laozu bless you and your family. See you next week.